In today's video, we're diving into a heated exchange that has the political world buzzing. The row erupts as Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer gets cornered over the massive £22 billion black hole in the UK government's finances, all while billions of pounds continue to be sent to Ukraine. As questions about the government's financial priorities continue to mount, Starmer faces intense scrutiny. His answer? Well, same old Labour. We will be watching and reacting to this, but first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. Just a quick one to say we have new Labour t-shirts available on our website. You can check the link in the description or go to britishstand.com. So have a watch of this.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank the Prime Minister for his comments on that. He will know that it is not just the security situation that worries people. They are also concerned about trade wars and the economic impact of tariffs, like those levelled on Canada and Mexico yesterday. The best way to avoid America putting tariffs on Britain is to reach agreement on a US trade deal. Following the Prime Minister's trip to Washington, have talks on a UK-US trade deal begun?
Prime Minister.
Well, I was pleased in the meeting I had last week that we did discuss an economic deal and agreed that our teams would indeed sit down rapidly to talk through an economic deal, and that is what they're doing, because, as she rightly says, that is far better than getting drawn into conflict in relation to tariffs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm glad the Prime Minister has confirmed that those talks have started. People across our country are worried. They're worried about national security. They're worried about whether we can equip our military fast enough. They are worried about whether we will deploy troops in Ukraine and whether we will be able to keep the peace. They are also worried about our economic security. Can we afford all this? The world is changing fast, and we need an entirely new approach to our economy and our energy security. The budget last year halted growth with higher taxes and higher borrowing. Yesterday, farmers were protesting in Whitehall again. People are hurting. Will he now change course so we can have the economic security we know we need for our national security?
Prime Minister.
We were doing so well. What we inherited was insecurity in our economy. We inherited a £22 billion black hole, and we have now turned that around. We've got the highest investment coming into our economy. We've got wages higher than prices. We've got 3 times interest rates have been cut. That's the difference between stability with Labour and instability with the party opposite.
What are your thoughts on this? Let me know down in the comments. In some other news, a group of Labour MPs is calling for the possession of images of Muslim women without their hijabs to be a criminal offence. The Commons Women and Equalities Committee argues that such images, taken without consent, should be classified as non-consensual intimate images and treated as seriously as child abuse material. Currently, English law defines intimate images as those involving nudity, sexual acts, or toileting, but the committee insists the definition should expand to include culturally intimate content, such as a Muslim woman pictured without her hijab. The government should amend the law to reflect that non-consensual intimate image abuse isn't always sexual, the committee stated. In some cultures, sharing images without religious clothing can have devastating consequences. However, David Spencer of the Policy Exchange think tank warned against overreach, arguing that police resources are already stretched dealing with violent crime. Meanwhile, Angela Rayner is establishing a Council on Islamophobia within the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government (MHCLG) to define the term, despite concerns that this could limit legitimate criticism of Islam. Ex-Tory Attorney General Dominic Grieve is expected to lead the group due to his work against anti-Muslim hate. The committee, led by Labour MP Sarah Owen, includes 7 Labour MPs, 1 ex-Labour independent, 2 Lib Dems, and 1 Conservative. Owen emphasised that non-consensual intimate image abuse is a serious crime with life-altering consequences, and urged the government to amend the Crime and Policing Bill to criminalise possession as well as creation of such images. In some other news, more than 1,300 migrants have crossed the English Channel in the past 5 days following a break in stormy weather. Sunday saw a record March arrival, with 592 people making the journey in 11 small boats. Despite increased funding for border security and multiple arrests of suspected people smugglers, crossings continue to rise. More than 3,400 migrants have arrived since January 1st, nearly 20% more than the same period last year. In 2024, total crossings reached 36,816, a 25% increase from the previous year. A maritime security source warned that government efforts to curb crossings have had little effect, with weather conditions being the only real deterrent. They suggested that without recent storms, numbers would be even higher. The Home Office reiterated its commitment to stopping small boat crossings, calling people smuggling gangs ruthless criminals who exploit vulnerable migrants for profit. And lastly, motorists and businesses are being warned that a common loophole won't shield them from upcoming car tax changes. From April 1st, 2025, corporation tax, and April 6th, income tax, double cab pickup trucks will be classified as cars for capital allowances, benefit in kind, BIK, and some business tax deductions. This follows a Court of Appeal ruling that pickups with a payload of 1 ton or more no longer qualify as commercial vehicles. This could lead to higher costs, as the most polluting petrol and diesel cars face a BIK rate of 37%. Vehicles emitting over 170 grams of CO2 per kilometre will see this rate increase by 1% in both 2028/29 and 2029/30. To soften the impact, the Treasury confirmed that BIK transitional arrangements will apply for double cab pickups ordered before April 6th, regardless of delivery date. However, transferring the vehicle to another employee after this date could trigger higher taxes. The government also announced new vehicle excise duty (VED) rules to encourage EV adoption. From April 1st, 2025, zero-emission vehicles will pay just £10 in first-year tax, while high-emission petrol and diesel cars could see costs rise to £5,490. Additionally, electric vehicles will start paying car tax for the first time. Experts urge businesses and drivers to act before April to avoid hefty tax hikes. So, what are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments. That brings us to the end of today's video. Hit the like and subscribe button for more British content. Oh, and don't forget to get your t-shirts at BritishStand.com. Link is in the description.